Hey everyone, Huston here. You are listening to the NintendoFuse Podcast. Today is March 29th, 2016. This is episode number 124. Real or no real? That is the question. Today, we have our usual podcast crew with us. We have Steve.
Hey everyone, and let you know I am real. At least I think so.
We have Greg.
Hi everyone.
And Barry.
Hey guys, I keep pinching myself, but I'm not sure if I'm real or not. Someone come out there and pinch me.
I think one of the four of us is 3D printed, so if you can guess which one that is, you win a prize. No, I'm just kidding. Oh man, so many mysteries with the Nintendo NX and everything, and that's definitely a topic we'll be talking about tonight, but that will be coming a little bit later. First things first, to kind of let you all know what's going on for those that may be new to this podcast. This podcast is interactive, and we love to talk with all of you. So there's many ways that you can participate. First of all, you can not only listen to us live, you can watch us live on our YouTube page. We are streaming live on Google Hangouts. And you can join in by talking in the chat room on the Google Hangout page or on TalkShoe as well. The full details on that are on our website, NintendoFuse.com. So if any of you are out there, shout out to DJ Burgess in the chat room as well. So anyone else out there, post your comments. We'll read them on the podcast. You can even call into the podcast and join in as well. We love to make it interactive and hear from all of you. So that's definitely what makes this extra fun. So tonight we got a couple interesting topics to discuss. The first thing is, in true NintendoFuse podcast tradition, last episode we discussed, hey, when is a Nintendo Direct, going to come? And then one was pretty much announced right after it and happened. That it always happens. It never fails. It's crazy. We have some magic power or something. I don't fully understand it, but it's pretty crazy. So we have a bunch of topics to discuss from the Nintendo Direct, and I want to kind of highlight some of them. So we'll go through each of them individually. So the first little bit that we can discuss is for Wii U, Star Fox Zero. They kind of showed more gameplay for that. And the game comes out April 22nd, and they discussed the special two-player mode, where one player can fly the R-Wing while the other player aims and shoots, and just a couple, glimpses of new levels and things. The packaged version of the game comes with Star Fox Guard, which is that Project Guard game that we saw before, but now in the Star Fox universe here, for $59.99, and then the digital version of the game can be purchased by itself for $49.99. Star Fox Guard can then be purchased in the eShop on its own for $14.99, or if you purchase the digital version of either Star Fox Zero or Star Fox Guard, then you receive a $4.99 discount toward the other game, basically. So, are you guys excited about Star Fox Zero and Star Fox Guard?
Yeah, I mean, I am.
Yeah.
I was just waiting for Star Fox Project Robot, or Project Giant Robot to appear. What the hell? Where was that?
Yeah. I don't know much about like the Project Guard thing. I was never like, of all the different things that they were showing off back in those tech demos and everything like that. I thought it was kind of cool, but it wasn't the thing that I was most excited about. So it was kind of interesting that was the one that popped up in Star Fox. I think I don't even know. I wouldn't even expected to see it as a Star Fox game. I could think of maybe Metroid or something like that, but it was kind of weird that it was like Star Fox. But especially with the Federation Force, it kind of seems like it could be connected with that. But anyhow, aside from that, I'm still excited about Star Fox as much as I have been from the very beginning. I think the two-player thing is, I don't know. I think it's kind of dumb. I think it's kind of like. It's almost like they kind of shoehorned in, or like, no, wait, we didn't put multiplayer in here, but actually you could probably grab two controllers and play the same thing, and we'll call it two-player, and we'll kind of make people happy. And I don't really even like that sort of thing. Like, if I'm honest, like that sort of thing is things that end friendships. That and Mario Party and New Super Mario Brothers U and things like that. Like those are the things that end friendships. Like no, like a friend is gonna be like playing there, like no, shoot there, I told you there, like, and then before you know it, controllers are gonna be thrown up against the wall, TVs are gonna be broken, and the game is gonna be shut off. So yeah, that's not a two-player mode in my mind. But I'm excited about the actual game, the single player. I just wish that, I wish the multiplayer, that true multiplayer, was included. But I've been saying that from the beginning. So nothing brand new. Hoping to get a review copy in soon so I can actually start playing it and have some actual thoughts on it.
Well, Steve, now don't be mad at the development team for playing a lot of Mario Kart Double Dash, okay? Clearly, that's where they got their inspiration from.
That's kind of what it's like. I mean, a lot of people like that, and I actually enjoyed playing that with my roommate in college. But like, we yelled at each other a lot. So.
But yeah, definitely interesting. I kind of have mixed feelings about the game. It looks kind of interesting, but I'm kind of wondering like how much new and fresh experiences is it really going to bring. So I'm going to kind of wait and see how it is. But at least I know that, if I hear Star Fox Guard is interesting, then I may kind of check that out as a fun little side thing. So it's nice that they're kind of selling them separate as well, just as the option. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I do actually want to get a caller on the line as well from New Jersey. Let's see. Hello out there in New Jersey. Who is it?
I'm having a super time. Great show so far, guys. Great show. I'm on Matt, New Jersey.
I had a feeling that
How's it going,
that was going to be our New Jersey friend.
Thanks, sorry. I haven't been around for a while. Great show so far.
We missed you. We were wondering where you were.
Yeah. Thanks. Hey, a couple of things. Did Hassan, did you get married last month?
I got engaged. I'm getting married in September.
Congratulations!
Thank you.
Hey, as a guy who's married 14 years, don't do it. So I told the wife today, I need to be with the guys, put the women and children to bed. We're going hunting for dinner. Not sure what if you guys saw or not. I wanted to get Mel Barrett. Congratulations! I know you're a big Zelda guy. Zelda in the Hall of Fame.
That's right.
Video game.
That's
Yep.
right.
Congrats, Barrett.
Thanks.
Also, what do you guys think of the rest of the class that got inducted?
I didn't get a chance to see who else was in it. Is there? I'll look this up. Is there like a list?
Tetris was one. Sonic the Hedgehog, a classic, obviously. Yeah.
I didn't even see anything about this.
Let's see here. Okay, so it looks like, so 2016 nominations for World Video Game Hall of Fame. So the nominees include, let's see, Final Fantasy, GTA 3, a couple other, Legend of Zelda, Pokemon Red and Green, Sonic the Hedgehog, Street Fighter 2, Tomb Raider, a couple things like that. But it seems like, Zelda and Pokemon Red and Green are the Nintendo ones that kind of stick out here.
Yeah, it seems like
I think Zelda's for sure.
Like in my mind, all of them stand out for some reason, and usually good reasons.
No brainers, definitely.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. I mean, I'm glad that they're giving more old school stuff as opposed to just Minecraft and Flappy Bird and Angry Birds. Like, give old school respect before you go to the newer stuff.
I just figured I got to call in before the wife starts yelling at me again. Hans, again, congrats.
Thank you.
Thank you. Aaron, great seeing you again.
It's great seeing you too.
Greg, always a pleasure as well. I'll tell you, I was talking about it. We watched the last one, me and a bunch of my buddies. You guys all get big golden joysticks from us. You guys all have golden joysticks.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it.
All right, guys. Or, life starts yelling, obviously.
Take care, man. Thank you.
Have a great night, Matt.
Bye. Always a pleasure to hear from him. And thankfully, when it comes to my fiance and everything, she's a gamer and everything too, which is great. So that's definitely a plus. So hopefully, no fighting over, stop playing video games or whatever. Instead, it'll be fighting over like Star Fox. Like that game could. Make or break our marriage, apparently.
that might be, a lot of people say, like, the first year of marriage is the toughest. That might be because of Star Fox for you guys.
Yeah. I better avoid that game then.
You should play New Super Mario Brothers U then. You'll be fine.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, avoid that. Mario Party, all off limits.
Yeah, pretty much. I want to give a shout out to Johnny Lamont as well in the chat. So what's up? And again, if you guys have any thoughts as we go along, post them in the chat, and we'll talk about it on the podcast. One of the other things from the Nintendo Direct was definitely highly rumored, and it came true, which was a new Paper Mario game, and it's Paper Mario Color Splash, and I guess little hints of Splatoon in a way made its way to Paper Mario, trying to paint the world. The game comes out in 2016, and you use Paper Mario's paint hammer to splash paint on anything, and it brings the color back to the island in the game. Are you guys excited about the new Paper Mario game?
So this is kind of like Mario Sunshine 2, right?
In a way.
I'm not, so I'm just tapping out right here. I've never been a Paper Mario fan. I apologize to everyone that is like hating me right now. I just haven't. So on to you guys who actually have an opinion about this game.
Well, it kind of reminded me a lot of Sticker Star, and that kind of is not making me very happy because I think Sticker Star has been the worst one of the other two that I've played. So. Unfortunately, I think I didn't play the best one, 1,000-Year-Old Door, but I did play the other two, the N64 one and the Wii version one, Super Paper Mario. So yeah, I got a lot of stuff that it kind of compared to Sticker Star with like all these battle cards that kind of like uses the stickers, and it just seems like it's going to be a possible train wreck if it's. Hopefully, I'm proven wrong though.
See, I'm somebody who, I played every Paper Mario at launch. I was there when the 64 one dropped, and I've enjoyed them all. Was Sticker Star the greatest game? No, but it was not a bad game, and I do not think it deserves the hate it gets. When I first saw Color Splash, I was excited, and then I read tons and tons of negative feedback from people. I do not think it's warranted personally. And then one of the biggest people who were outspoken about being negative was Andre from Game Explain. And then they did their analysis video, which I watched. And he admitted afterwards, when I did all this analysis, I realized there's a lot to this game and I actually have a different opinion on it. So I definitely advise people who have a negative opinion, who are not sure about this game, watch the analysis video, because I was hyped for it before. Now I'm like really hyped. Like I can't wait to play this game. It still has the same charm, and it's one of those things where like I would rate Sticker Star like a 7, which is not a bad game. It's average. Is it? It's nowhere near 1,000-Year Door. I know that. That's without a shadow of a doubt. But it's still a good game, and you got to play a game on its own merits. Otherwise, think about it. Zelda would have died after Zelda 2 because it was so different. You just got to play a game for its own merits. And I think people need to give Color Splash a chance. Like I said, watch that video. I think you'll have a different opinion.
For the Paper Mario series, I think I'm one of the people that, I know there's a lot of people that didn't really like Sticker Star. I kind of enjoyed it, although my favorite out of the series is probably Super Paper Mario, which is probably a lot of people's least favorites as well. So I'm kind of...
Actually, that's the only one I've played, and I enjoyed it. But it's not like regular Paper Mario, so...
Right.
I know it can't really count.
Exactly. So maybe I just don't like the true Paper Mario as much, and I just like some of the odd ones. I don't know. So this one seems kind of interesting, and I'm kind of curious to see more. I think my sister is a bigger Paper Mario fan than I am, to be honest. So maybe she'll be looking forward to this game or something. So I'm curious to know more. We've only really gotten one trailer, and they really didn't, like in the Direct, it was kind of like, oh, by the way, new Paper Mario, here's a trailer. Okay, moving on. It was like, what? Like, hello? They just really didn't elaborate on it.
You knew it was going to happen anyhow, so...
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. So, I guess I assume then probably at E3 we'll probably get like a lot more information there or something. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens with the game there.
I mean, I don't think I have quite a negative opinion of it. I'm still pretty excited for another Paper Mario game. I just really hoping it's not as like Sticker Star. I don't know if I had rated it like a 7. I thought Sticker Star was more like a 6, but I don't know. I didn't really like the combat system or anything like that. So.
Well, see, one of the things that people didn't like about Sticker Star, like you said, was the combat system, because you had to use a sticker per attack, and then you lost it. And like one of the things you'll see if you watch the analysis video is it appears you actually have the cards and you keep them, and in order to use them, you need to use your paint to paint the card in and color it, and then attack. But then you keep the card, and it just becomes black and white again. So you have to have a certain amount of paint levels, and every time you defeat the enemies, you gain more paint. So it's not like, oh man, I need to go farm stickers. It's as long as you have the card in your deck, then you're going to be able to do the attack as long as you have the paint for it. And there's the red, yellow, blue paint meter, so you have to actually balance how much paint you have. So there's resource management, but it's not the same as Sticker Star. And for me, I like the ability to, hey, if I want to jump, I'm going to guarantee myself having this jump by having this card, as opposed to I need to stock up and have 2 pages of this jump sticker just so I could keep jumping.
Yeah, I mean my other concern was like the how the battles were in Sticker Star were pointless. Like you just would rather dodge them than activate them because they didn't give you any XP or anything that you really need.
Yeah,
so.
that needs to be fixed.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they kind of learn from some of that as well. It seems like they made some improvements to the combat system, as Barry was saying, so hopefully some of the other concerns are addressed as well. And I guess it's interesting. The Sticker Star was the first handheld Paper Mario game, so they're going back to the consoles now. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that, basically. Speaking of Mario, we do have 2 other Mario-related games that were discussed in the Nintendo Direct. So Super Mario Maker, of course, as we know, they had an update for the game, which added a Super Expert mode to the 100 Mario Challenge, which is cleared after you. It's unlocked after you clear the Expert mode. There's also 12 new Mystery Mushroom costumes. Ooh, say that 3 times fast. And have been added to the 100 Mario Challenge. There's also a couple of other new tools that they've added for level creation, which is pretty interesting, like the ability to have keys in your levels, which is pretty cool. And then the other Mario-related game is Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games. The Wii U version of the game comes out June 24th. So there is that. Have you guys been playing Super Mario Maker much recently, or?
I haven't. No. I actually, as you mentioned this, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot there were some updates. I should probably get on there sometime and check them out, because some of them sound cool. I think the key thing is my favorite update of all those, but I haven't really played around at all much with it lately. I know Greg has for sure, but he's like still making like courses all the time. But.
Yeah, I'm still heavily addicted to Mario Maker. I've got the update the day it went live. I'm a part of some Facebook groups that you make some like levels and submit them to the group, and then pretty much everybody looks them over, and then practically it's like free stars. So if you're ever needing like free medals, I suggest joining one of the many Facebook groups and stuff. Right now they're doing like a limited time challenge thing or whatever, so they give you 12 items that you have to use, and you can only use those 12. And I've been doing a couple rounds with that so far, so that's been a lot of fun. Definitely love the update. Haven't really used the pink coins very much right now, but I did just put like some keys into like the Bowser and stuff, and that's been pretty fun. I don't know if Steve, if he played my skill shooter one that I made a long time ago, but I made a remastered version that has where Bowser has the key now.
Oh God, no! That level sucked. Evil Greg, evil.
Have you, Barry, played the game recently at all?
I did the update, and I was working on doing some of the new the 100 Mario Challenge expert to get the costumes unlocked, but life happened, and it's still actually on right now on my Wii U, saved at like 8 out of 16, and it has not moved since. So not due to lack of wanting to, just lack of time.
Right.
I only did expert mode once, so that was really hard.
No. I think I probably still got to go through the very first, mode there. I'm not. I think my Mario skills are kind of lacking, so I don't know if I'll be able to clear any of the levels that you guys create.
I don't know if it's like Mario skills, because Mario skills are one thing, but beating some of this ridiculous things that people create, that's beyond Mario skills.
That is true.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going for one of those awesomely skilled levels, I mean, they're already tough, but mostly you're just going to find levels with every enemy just falling on top of you at once, and you have no way to survive.
Right.
Yeah, I try to like make it through without skipping, but it gets really tough sometimes. I'm just like, I don't want to deal with this anymore.
Well, if you play at the easy and normal, they're like all like automatic courses now, so for the most part.
Those.
So you don't even have to play it. You could just like put it on, and then you'll just be done when you're like after 10 minutes.
A free costume.
There we go. It's my kind of game. No, but seriously, I'm glad that they are continuing to update the game, and I think that's really cool. Not just Super Mario Maker, but multiple games like Splatoon is another one they talked about in the Nintendo Direct with additional updates for some weapon adjustments and adding new weapon set recommendations, things like that. Just the fact that Nintendo continues to kind of update some of their games like that shows the continued support and kind of makes people want to keep coming back to those games, which is definitely great. So I'm glad that they're doing that. And also for Wii U, real quick, I just want to mention from the Nintendo Direct, from some third parties, there was Tokyo Mirage Sessions /FE. Is that how they were pronouncing it? I can't even remember the hashtag.
Sharp FE.
Sharp, yeah.
Sharp FE.
Sharp. Okay, yeah, there we go. I knew it was something. So Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE. And so that is the RPG from Atlas, which it has some Fire Emblem references, things like that. It's very interesting. There's that, and then Lost Reavers from Bandai Namco as well. Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE comes June 24th, and Lost Reavers from Bandai Namco comes April 28th, with an open beta coming April 14th. Any of these other games interest you guys?
Nope.
And done. All right. No, I was kidding.
I mean, I wasn't terribly interested in the Tokyo Mirage session, so I don't think I'll be getting that one. And Lost Reavers, I wasn't terribly interested in that one either.
Lost Reavers looks interesting, but Tokyo Mirage, it's more interesting the more I see it. And from the footage they showed last E3 at the Treehouse, I fell in love with the game, so I just can't wait. But I'm a sucker for Japanese games, so.
Yeah, we'll see. It's definitely. I feel like in the Nintendo Direct, they're always like showing all these, what are these games, and all of a sudden Tokyo Mirage Sessions comes out of nowhere, and you're like, what was that? And then it just goes back. It's like, now back to your regularly scheduled programming, and like jumps back to your other games, and it's always kind of interesting, the style difference that the game kind of has. Truly, like, Japanese style in a way, and really embraces that, which is cool.
That's one thing I'm hoping for in the NX, is that Nintendo can reclaim their own Japanese games, because you think about it, it's a niche market, but there's a market for it, and it's the very thing keeping the Vita alive right now. If it wasn't for those games, the Vita would have nothing. So
The Vita's alive?
And yeah, the Vita's still alive. It still gets regularly released games, believe it or not. But some of these games, they're just dead. He's got the blue one. There's just something unique about some of them.
It's crying right now.
Like, there's what the heck was the game where you have to fight vampires in Tokyo, and you have to strip off their clothes as you're fighting. Akiba strip, as you're fighting them, so you strip off their clothes so that their skin is exposed to the sunlight, so they burn up and die. That's something only Japanese would think of, and Nintendo, they should put it on the Nintendo systems.
You're
it's
not
just
really
such a unique game.
I literally had to blow off a whole layer of dust on the Vita, literally.
You're not the only one, Hassan. I mean, I love my Vita. I'll be honest. I've played Tales of Hearts R, loved it, and the great game. First off, second off, the screen is amazing. But even with over 100 games on the Vita, that's the only one I've actually played, versus the 3DS, which, well, I have it right here. I mean, I always have it with me, and I always play on it.
Right. Well, speaking of handhelds and ones that people mostly actually play, we have
those transitions. That's masterful.
I actually do want to real quick also give a shout out to OBN Radio in the TalkShoe chat as well. Talking about Donkey Kong and wondering about the impact he has on the Mario series, and looks like there's a conversation going on about the Baseball All-Stars game that they had. Baseball Stars. Oh yeah, Baseball Stars by SNK. Gotcha. It's got some interesting discussions going on in the chat over there. So shout out to OBN Radio. So moving on to the 3DS. We have a new game announcement, Kirby Planet Robobot. And so, if Kirby wasn't adorable enough, now he has all these, mech suits and everything with all the power-ups that he usually has. And so, whole new game for the 3DS coming June 10th, and they've also announced a new line of Kirby Amiibo figures, including Kirby, King Dedede, Meta Knight, and Waddle Dee. I'll say that I'm already kind of looking forward to this. Kirby games are always one of those games that they're pretty simple in gameplay, but if you really want to kind of master the levels and stuff, they can become a little challenging. And I think the Kirby mech suits are just adorable and awesome, and I want to kind of mess around with those. So I'm looking forward to that game. What about you guys?
Not so much. Fans of the podcast have heard me say before, I'm nothing against Kirby. I've just never really been into it. I'll go back and play some of the older games on Virtual Console. After they get to be around $5 or something like that, then I'll get them, or if I get them free and stuff like that. It's fun to play, but they've always seemed, at least the original ones, I've not really played any of the newer ones, other than play around, I think, with a demo or something like that of the Yarn game. I don't really know. They're not super challenging, and they never really kind of did it for me. I think it's a cool mechanic, but it's never been something I've been overly excited about. But for those that are into Kirby, it seems like this sort of thing could be fun. But I won't be picking it up.
Yeah, I have to agree with Steve there. I have very little experience with the Kirby games. I've only played, I think, the NES one and the Game Boy one, the original one. That's about my only experience outside of using Kirby and Smash Brothers, which I actually kind of like, but it seems like the characters I don't really care for their series is where I tend to do pretty well with them in Smash Brothers. So.
Damn, Yaz, you're making me feel old. Shit, I remember having to rake leaves for a week just to be able to get Kirby's Dream Land when it came out as a kid, being so proud of that. And I love the Kirbys. I've played every one. I'm a sucker for Kirby. I haven't beat them all, but I love Triple Attack. In fact, I suggest you go and play it right now, Steve. In fact, you should just leave the podcast and go play it. Another homework assignment.
Phew, I'm off the hook on that one. I'm off the hook on that one.
Oh no,
It's a homework assignment.
Honestly, it's a really good game, and it seems they're using the Triple Attack or Triple Deluxe engine for this, and it's well worth it. I mean, this looks amazing. Period. Like, this stole the show, and I will be totally get it. Look, he's starting. He's gonna go download it right now. No, oh no! See, he pulls out.
Done. I just have a really super fast internet connection.
No, Kirby games I think are definitely pretty interesting, and they're not the most difficult things, but they have some fun gameplay because you can basically, with all the different abilities that you have and everything, it's definitely pretty interesting to play. Looks like we actually have another caller on the line, so let's see if from North Carolina. How's it going?
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Hey, what's your name?
Oh, it's DJ. Remember the House?
Hey, yeah, thanks for calling. Are you excited about the new Kirby game?
Yes, I am actually. Oh, and congratulations on getting engaged.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks, man. Are you any games that you're like really looking forward to this year that we've kind of talked about or haven't discussed?
Oh, well, I only look forward to Persona 5, and that's coming since 2016. And I have 2 Persona games right here.
Okay.
Yeah, Persona 5 looks really good.
The Vita games, both of them.
Dancing All Night?
Well, we have to Ultimate.
Oh, Persona Arena. Yeah, those are both very good games.
Yeah, I got through the arcade mode and also the story mode, and it was so here, actually.
That's really good.
Nice.
Congrats.
Nice, man.
Yeah, and also, the only score time mode is actually the hardest mode to get through.
I haven't tried that yet.
Yeah, wait, has Barry tried that?
I don't know if anybody else has tried. I haven't tried any of those games.
Well, we have RPGs in thing, right?
What was that, sorry?
You have to play RPG games, right?
They don't play RPG. I play RPG.
Yeah, I'm not.
They're all losers. They don't like Japanese games or role-playing games. I have to keep giving them homework
I
assignments.
just don't have time. Getting old. I don't have time anymore. RPGs like out hundreds of hours into those things.
Yeah, they're always really interesting, and like I know Xenoblade, Barry loves it, and he's said how amazing it is, and it always sounds so great. I can barely play like any other game as is, so it's just time, but definitely pretty cool. Yeah. Well, thank you.
What?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, you also had something 4 signs.
Sorry, what was that?
Your tires, the main characters.
Sorry, I'm not sure. Can you say that one more time?
I was talking about the main characters, Kami, and also, I guess.
The main characters he's asking about.
The main characters of which
Persona.
Which Persona games.
Oh, Persona. No, see, I haven't played any of those games. I just, no, I gotta check it out. I'm sure Barry can probably teach me about the games. And I think my old roommate, if any of you guys on the crew remember Tristan, I'm sure I think he's a fan of those games as well. So I'll definitely have to read up on those and get some more information. Definitely. But thanks for calling. I appreciate it. Have a good day.
I was fine getting into life when I get leave.
Yeah, we'll do.
Yeah, sorry, what was that?
I said I wish you good luck in getting the Nintendo NX and get Sleep.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
thanks. Yeah, we'll be talking about the NX definitely coming up. So stay tuned for that. So we got a lot to talk about. But thanks, man.
Yes, thank you for calling.
Yeah, NX is definitely a big topic. So we got a lot to discuss with all the rumors and everything. So definitely looking forward to that. So actually, speaking of that, then I kind of want to breeze through a little bit of some of the next games. I'll kind of group a whole bunch together, and then we can give our thoughts on them as we go. So we have Metroid Prime Federation Force. As we all know, they kind of discussed more about the game and how you're not controlling Samus in this one. It tells the story of the Galactic Federation's Elite Federation Force unit and the Space Pirates. So the game comes out late spring. They also announced Rhythm Heaven Megamix is coming over to the States, so that comes out later this year, and it's they said that the game offers more than 100 rhythm games, 30 of which are new to the series, and additional 70 have been selected from previous games in the series, including the original Game Boy Advance title, never released in North America. So that's pretty neat. We also have Monster Hunter Generations coming to the West, and it will have a special armor set based on Marth from the Fire Emblem series. So Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate as well is on sale with a special price. Oh wait, actually by now the special price is probably over, so sorry guys. But the game comes out this summer, Monster Hunter Generations, so you can look forward to that. And then Disney Art Academy coming May 13th. Pretty self-explanatory. It's an Art Academy game, but for Disney. Enough said, pretty much. So out of those couple of games, anything kind of stand out for you all?
I'm actually most excited about Blast Ball and Metroid Prime because I'm a huge Rocket League fan, and this is kind of like that, but just with Metroid. I was like, that's kind of cool. I think it'd be fun. I just wish it was like a standalone thing. I think I might have said this before at one point. Like, I wish it'd be kind of like a standalone like download, not necessarily included in the full game. I think it would have been a brilliant idea. But I don't think Metroid Prime Federation Force is going to be as bad as people. I mean, I think the biggest reason why people don't like it is because it wasn't what they were expecting in the whole Metroid Prime series and everything. But I don't think it doesn't look like it's gonna be a bad game. And so I think that's probably the thing that I'm most excited about. Rhythm Heaven is cool, but I was never into it. I played the demos of it, and it's fun and everything, but I have some other rhythm games that I can go back to if I kind of get an itch for that. But Monster Hunter Generations is probably another game that, like, Monster Hunter's fun, but it takes a long time to like really like crank away and get your characters up to the levels you want them to and all that stuff. I'm not an artist. It'd be cool to draw stuff, but yeah, the other things that, like, it's weird to say, but I'm most excited about Metroid Prime Blast Ball.
Yeah, I definitely agree there. I mean, I definitely admit that when they originally announced it, I was pretty mad about it. But after seeing like the trailer and having them discuss the game a little bit better, I think I'm more open to it, and definitely will probably be giving it a shot, as I usually like most of the Metroid games. So I definitely was gonna probably look into picking up that one. And then, as Steve said, I haven't really played any of the other series. I mean, Monster Hunter, I don't really care for the live-action combat. The Rhythm Heaven, never played any of those games. And what was that other one? The Art Academy, I'm not really too much into the art games.
Yeah, of them, I'm with everybody. I think Metro Prime is going to be fine. I liked it from the beginning. I like world building as a writer. So I'm excited for Federation Force. I'm excited to see what they do with it, and I think people are being way too hard on it. I mean, it's a creator's vision. He's wanted to do it for 10 years. Let him create what he wants to create. If it's not what you want, then don't buy it. But to say, to piss on someone else's work, really, it's just not right. And I've told people this: if you're really that upset about it, and you think you can do better, then learn how to code, get Nintendo to say, all right, make a Metroid Prime game, and go ahead and make it. And if you can't do that, then just be happy we're getting a game to begin with, because they could have easily said, no game at all, we're going to put Metroid on hiatus for another 10 years, and you would have been able to do nothing. You could do nothing. So I think you should just be thankful that we're at least getting something, play it, enjoy it for what it is, and Samus will most likely be back next time. And who knows what Retro's working on. Metroid NX, here we go. As for the other ones, I've enjoyed the Monster Hunter games, so Monster Hunter Cross or X or Generations or whatever you want to call it now. It's a no-brainer. I expected it to be launched in here, so to see it, it's like, great. Now will we get the next Monster Hunter game? So I'll be picking that up. Rhythm Heaven, Greg, shame on you. Yeah, Rhythm Heaven's a game you need to play. It's just a lot of fun, and it's quick. It's like WarioWare, so it's not like an epic 50-hour RPG. It's like just little rhythm games. So it's the one to pick up, pretty much, because it has like the best of. The only one I'm not terribly interested in is Disney Art Academy. I have the Pokemon Art Academy. I didn't play it. My wife enjoyed it, but it's one of those. Hey, if I see it for $8.99 or something, I'll grab it because it's a Nintendo published title, but it's not one I'm gonna, oh my god, I have to have it at launch.
Right. Yeah, I kind of gonna echo a lot of what you all said. Metroid Prime Federation Force, I'll wait and see exactly how it is to get it, but it doesn't seem bad necessarily. I mean, it seems fine. I'm kind of curious. I want to really get more into the Rhythm Heaven series. I think I've played a little bit of one of them, but Rhythm Heaven Megamix sounds interesting. The rest probably pass on. I did want to mention in the chat, Johnny Lamont said he played Kirby 64, Return to Dreamland, and Triple Deluxe. He enjoyed all of those, so he'll probably get the new Kirby game as well. And then also in the chat, Charlie Pregan says, what are your thoughts on the new Zelda Hyrule Warriors? Well, we have a couple more games that were discussed in the Nintendo Direct, one of which is Hyrule Warriors Legends, which is out now for the 3DS. So there's basically, if you play on the new 3DS, it's enhanced, so better... What's the word? The system has more power to be able to handle the game better, and the frame rate is better, and that sort of thing. There's also a transfer code for the game that allow purchasers to also own Hyrule Warriors for Wii U to use Ganondorf's Trident weapon and play as the 5 new characters from Hyrule Warriors Legends in the Wii U game, and so on. There's also Medley from Wind Waker available as a free download when the first DLC pack is released. We also have Bravely Second End Layer. A free demo of the game is out now, and the game launches on April 15th. We have Dragon Quest VII Fragments of the Forgotten Past coming later in 2016. It says the world has been rebuilt, the characters have new 3D models, and the story has been completely relocalized. And then Fire Emblem Fates Revelation. So that is... out now as well, the third path in the Fire Emblem Fates story alongside Birthright and Conquest. So, and then there's also going to be new DLC maps being released on a weekly basis through April 21st. Out of these, the only one that kind of, I guess, interests me and the one that I actually got is Hyrule Warriors Legends. So I was playing that the other day. And I have the Wii U game, and it was pretty fun, and the 3DS game is also pretty interesting. I don't know if I, at least so far, prefer one over the other in a way. I guess the ease of access of having it on a portable is kind of nice. So I don't mind that it doesn't have as good graphics as the Wii U one. It's still perfectly decent. So I guess so far, and I guess I kind of dig the fact that it's on a portable and it's pretty fun. It's pretty neat. What about you guys? Any of these games interest you? Or?
Yeah, I got Hyrule Warriors on Wii U as well, and really liked it. Still really like it. I need to get back and play some more. I basically beat it, but I think there's a couple other quests that I can go back and do. And I think because of that, like I still feel like there's a little bit to do on the Wii U version. I didn't want to go out and spend more money on the 3DS version, at least just yet. And so I might end up, if they release these other characters through DLC or something like that, I might just get them in for the Wii U version or something. I don't really have a desire to also play them to go, but the Wii U version's great. So if you don't have a Wii U, get the 3DS version. The other games, hey, it's more RPGs, which are fantastic, and all three of those are great. I'm sure are going to be great games. I just, once again, I need more time.
Right.
Need some sort of time machine then or something, because these are some great games in this section. I am definitely excited for Bravely Default End Layer. I played the first one, absolutely loved it. Looking forward to this one, definitely a day one pickup. The Dragon Quest VII, I never played the original because I didn't have a PlayStation, so I'm very excited to see this one. This is one of the very few that I have not played, so I have 4, 5, and 6 on the 3DS already, so 7 will be a welcome addition. Fire Emblem Fates Revelation, I haven't picked up this one yet. I'm still working my way very slowly through Birthright. And then I'll have to see if I should even try Conquest and also Revelation. So it's going to be a long year.
Nice. What about you, Barry?
Well, like you guys, I have Hyrule Warrior Legends. I haven't popped it in yet, but I most likely will just pop it in to mess around with like Linkle Story and just transfer the stuff to the Wii U version, because I have so many hours already done in the Wii U version and the adventure map done, and I don't want to start back at level 1 again with everybody and redo everything. It's like, no, I don't want to. I already did it. I don't want to do it again so soon. But I do have to pop it in to at least get the code, but I just, again, no time. As for the other games, they've been pre-ordered since announcement. I have played the demo of Bravely Second and completed it 100% with everything you can bring to the new game, and it is a lot of fun. I do hope that there are a few more features coming back, like the ability to turn off random encounters or speed them up so that you get multiple, but some of the new things they've added, like the secession battles, are just really, really cool, and the fact that you could do 3 different auto presets, it just makes the game that much easier, because it almost becomes like auto grind, which is the one thing that RPGs, suck all that time out of you. Like, even Steve in his busy schedule can sit there and just like rotate the stick around until he gets into a battle and just hold the L button down and just do like 10 battles in a row and instantly level up. So it's almost like
sounds so much fun.
Like, this is for Steve. Dragon Quest is a no-brainer. If you haven't played Dragon Quest VII on the PS1, it was a great game. But it's a whole new translation, and it's pretty much a new game, so it's worth replaying again. And Steve should really probably pick it up. In fact, I'm just going to give a list of games that Steve should play, but I'm just going to put at the top of the list, God says you need to play, and that might give him some time. Motivation, like the Word of God, like the 10 Commandments, thou shalt play these 10 games.
Well, at least it's on you, Steve, to play those games, not me. So I got to pass. So I'm good.
Just wait.
Podcast isn't over yet.
I'm going to play it again sometime soon.
There's a whole separate list for me waiting, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's not over yet. We're still going.
At least I have Xenoblade Chronicles X.
True.
Great.
One of like 10 games.
It's a start.
So that kind of brings us to the last little bits here of the Nintendo Direct. I'm going to kind of skip over a couple little things, but basically One thing I want to mention is for the Virtual Console, Super NES games have started being released on the Virtual Console. Games like Super Mario World, F-Zero, Earthbound, Super Mario Kart. And on April 14th, we're going to get some other games like Super Metroid and A Link to the Past and more. On the new 3DS, you get Perfect Pixel Mode, which gives players the option to display the games in their original resolution. Also, just want to mention with Amiibo, there's the Mini Mario and Friends Amiibo Challenge. Starting now, when you buy any Amiibo figure at certain retailers, you'll get a bonus download code for Mini Mario and Friends Amiibo Challenge, which you can get for free on the eShop. Otherwise, it'll be available to the public on April 28th to download for free. And you tap an Amiibo figure on the game, you get a little couple mini levels to guide your character through. Just a neat little bonus thing. Also, new Animal Crossing Amiibo figures have been announced, and a new series of cards, Series 4, both coming on June 10th. Which, little promo, the most recent wave of Animal Crossing figures and Series 3 of the Amiibo cards, I do have videos of those on NintendoFuse that you can go check out unboxings of.
Have you completed your set yet, Hassan?
Of the cards? Oh, I need to get that binder, but I have a lot that I'm missing. Even from Series 1, I'm still missing cards, so it's so difficult. I bought so many packs too, and I still am missing so many, which is it's crazy.
It took me like 18 packs, and then I had to trade. Lots of trading on Facebook. Get them all.
And Husk, I'm sure you scanned them all into Happy Home Designer, right?
Yeah, you know my favorite 3DS game of 2015 or something. No, I was kidding.
Just give it to your sister. Just like go scan these for a while.
I can see that. Poor Hassan sitting in a corner, scanning all 400 in one at a time. Just like that's like.
Scan faster, go!
Error reading this card.
But I don't want to. Like just scanning them. Oh, man.
I can see him like wasted away, like just ribs, like he hasn't eaten in days as he does all 400 of them. Like, it starts raining over his head. He's soaping wet. He's just like, must finish.
You should just live stream it the whole time.
Oh gosh, boring live stream instance of whatever.
Be like the original Justin TV. He's just like sitting around doing nothing. At least you'd be doing something.
You can probably get you on NBC, the World Series of Amiibo scanning or something.
Yeah, is there a Guinness World Record for like the longest Amiibo usage in a game or something? I don't even know. Like,
there can be now.
All right, let's do it. So any of these, have you guys been collecting any of the recent Amiibo, or did you give up, or are you still going at it, or?
I have them all still. Gotta catch them all.
Uh-oh, Steve's almost out the Amiibo.
I'm not in the room with my collection, but I did pick up Roy, so.
I figured you would.
I got Ryu the other day, but that's about it. That was the last Amiibo actually I bought in a while. So I didn't even realize. I knew he was coming out soon, but I forgot when, and I was just like walking through Target and was like, oh hey, that's cool. Thank you. Going in the basket. So yeah. I was thinking actually about the Amiibo challenge thing. I was like, it'd be cool to find an Amiibo and get it and get that early, but I haven't. I keep looking at the stores and like, there's not really one that I haven't gotten yet that I do want to get to pick up to get that game. So I might end up just waiting and picking it up when it actually, or downloading it when it actually comes out next month instead, because I don't know if there's really an Amiibo that I haven't got that I want yet. Haven't got in the
I heard
cards
you could
at
just
all,
walk in.
so.
I've heard you could just walk in and ask them. I haven't done it yet, but like people have posted on Facebook, they've gotten like 100 sheets of the codes, and we're just giving them out to people. So you can probably just walk in next time you're at Target and ask for it and get it for free without buying anything.
I'm surprised that Target would have them because when I looked up the retailers on the Nintendo site, it said it was GameStop, Best Buy, and Amazon.
Yeah.
So I'd be kind of surprised that Target would have them.
Try just walking in and seeing if you can get one for free. Most retail employees won't care. They'll be like, sure, whatever.
Yeah, I didn't know. Like, I didn't realize that they. Now it makes sense now that they come like on the receipt or whenever you buy or something like that. Because I was like, why would they like recall all these boxes and like stuff a thing in there? And how did I know?
It's not on the receipt though.
Come at that, but it makes more sense that the retailer would actually give it to you.
It's actually a printed sheet with the Wii U and the 3DS with a code of each on the sheet, and it's just like a flyer they can hand out. So you don't even have to print up anything on a receipt. They can just hand it.
So it's like the Pokemon giveaways at GameStop or something does. It's got
exactly like that.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. I was confused in the beginning. I'm like, really? They're gonna stuff those things? Like, that's annoying. But now it makes more sense.
Yeah, I've been trying to collect whatever Amiibo I can. They need to stop releasing a whole bunch at once because I think I went to Toys R Us and I'm like, oh, they have Ryu. Let me get that. Oh wait, they finally got Mega Yarn Yoshi. Got that. Oh wait, the new Animal Crossing figures. Oh no, new Animal Crossing cards. And I ended up leaving with like a whole ton of stuff. It's like great. I don't like. Now I have a whole bunch of videos to make too and everything. But it's just they need to stop releasing too much at once because it's killing me.
Well, the next release is really only the 100 cards for the last series and an Isabelle, the summer outfit that we haven't had before. That's it, unless they announce the new Smash Brothers Amiibo, the last 3 during that day. And I don't know when the Kirby is coming out, but I doubt it's June 10th. But it could be, for all we know. But as of now, it's one Amiibo.
I believe they've already updated the site. It says June 10.
Is it?
Oh yeah, it is actually.
For the Kirby's.
The game and the new figures come June 10th. I'm looking at the press release.
There you go.
See, there you
go.
go.
4
Nintendo.
Kirby, an Animal Crossing, and 100 more cards.
Great. Thanks, Nintendo. So yeah, Amiibo. Go buy all of them at once because that's what Nintendo does. Although I gotta say, I do think it's. I was just say real quick, I think it's really cool how now when I go to Toys R Us and I look at the Smash Bros. Amiibo, like there's so many different kinds now. So it's cool that there's such a variety of Amiibo that are available now. Whereas before it's like Mario, Pikachu, Peach, Bowser, that's it, But like now you get like everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, it is nice that they have a lot more supply out there of the various ones. Yeah, you guys have more than me. I think all of you have more than me, but I mean I have a lot too, and. Like, I was just thinking the other day, I was like, I don't want to start counting up how much money I spent on all these little plastic toys. It's going to just be depressing.
One of us.
Another person that's Amiibo collecting as well as Roth, so shout out to Roth here. He said, I think the last one I got was the Famicom Rob. So, pretty cool. So with that kind of wraps up most of the Nintendo Direct stuff, really, all the main highlights at least. So wanted to briefly discuss something else that was just announced today, which is a release date for Nintendo's first smartphone app, Miitomo, as well as My Nintendo, which is March 31st. They said it was coming in March, and they stuck to it, although...
Squeaking by.
The last day.
Hey, they're honest.
So it already launched in Japan, and apparently it was like #1 on the iOS App Store, Google Play Store, and everything for a while in Japan and everything. So we'll see how well it does here. But if you have not already, go to Miitomo.com to pre-register so you can get a platinum coin bonus in the My Nintendo rewards program. So definitely go do that. Are you guys ready for Miitomo? Like, are you guys ready to add each other on there, and and we can become best friends on Miitomo? It's gonna be it's the latest new social network, guys. It's gonna be incredible.
I'm just letting you know now that I'm going to download it. I'm gonna add you all, and I'm just gonna do nothing but send you messages that say direct, so my little me just does this every time you log in.
RPG direct.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
I'm actually really excited about this. I think just because I want to see how it is, and I'm not excited because like I think it's going to be awesome. I'm excited because I want to see what Nintendo does, on mobile, and I want to see. It's going to be obviously very Japanese, like and I don't know. I'm excited about the possibility. So.
Yeah. Also, they announced an updated online shop that they're going to be doing, which will kind of tie into My Nintendo and everything. You'll be able to. You can already download games, like purchase games online through their website, but they're going to kind of expand it and offer lots more and more features and everything. So that'll be interesting to see, definitely.
I thought I had pre-registered for it, but apparently I only signed up for the My Nintendo account, so I just went through and pre-registered right now.
I'm glad you were listening to the podcast where you learned to pre-register.
Exactly.
He's being proactive.
There you go.
That's how quick you can do it. It's
just a button click. That's all you do.
Mm-hmm. Even the My Nintendo account was so quick. Like, I was like, wait, did I register? Am I done? Like, is that it? So quick.
The thing is, I don't remember my even login.
And like link it up with your other social networks and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
So that would explain why I never wasn't notified it was coming out in 2 days until Steve posted the press release the other day, this week.
Oh, I wasn't notified by them. They still haven't sent the notification to me. That was just the press release that I got.
No. So I didn't even get the press release either.
They just really don't want you to play Miitomo, Greg.
I know.
They canceled your pre-registration. You did it like 2 months ago, but they were like, no, not Greg, no.
And I start with negative platinum coins and everything too.
You owe them platinum coins now. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. I guess the next episode we can discuss how it went, their first smartphone game, and the new rewards program and everything. So that'll be exciting. But the last topic here for the podcast is probably the most exciting, although. Who knows what's real or not even real anymore? It's all so crazy. So we have the NX, the upcoming Nintendo system, and the biggest thing that happened recently is there was a supposed leak of the controller for the system, basically, and so supposedly it was this oval shape. It had 2 analog sticks, and it was a full touch screen. The whole controller was a screen. There's no buttons on it, but it's all on the touch screen with haptic feedback. And you have the scrollable like mouse wheels as your L and R kind of buttons. And yeah, so there was a whole bunch of the analog sticks, and I think one of the rumors was like it would give you feedback on the analog sticks or something if you. I don't even know. It sounded kind of interesting. I don't know, but everybody's going crazy. Is this real or not real? And there's one photo that came out of a white controller, and people are debating it. And then all of a sudden, a whole bunch of photos came out of this black controller, and that's when most people were like, okay, I mean, this looks legit. I mean, it's an actual item. And me personally, I was like, I kind of believed it. I thought, it was a dev kit and not a final version. I thought maybe the final version, they'd add handles to it, or at least maybe they'd have an attachment for handles or certain things like that. But, I mean, it looked pretty legit. And then it came out that was actually, the first one was Photoshopped, and then somebody made a 3D printed model of that Photoshop as an actual controller. And so it's all fake.
Wow. I didn't realize. I didn't hear that part. I knew the Photoshop thing. I didn't realize that people actually made a legitimate one.
Yeah, the one that was the white controller was the Photoshop, but then somebody made a 3D printed model for the one that was the black controller that had the multiple photos of that. That was a 3D printed model. Like, what has the world come to now? Like, you can't even believe what you see.
It used to be a picture and it's not real. Well, I can't even trust a picture anymore.
Yeah.
That's not new. How many pictures of Luigi have we seen in Mario 64 when the N64 came out in the internet's infancy? And how many different crazy ways did we try as kids to unlock him because we saw a picture?
I just waited for Mario 64 DS when you could actually get him. So.
I guess it's kind of neat that like we're now in an age where, like back in the day, there was always this mystery, right? Is it real or not real? And then for a while, I think we got kind of past it, and you could kind of tell if something was photoshopped or certain things like that. But we're kind of back in the age of now people are so good at doing this that you're back into that mystery of it, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I think for a while, like it was, I don't know, fairly easy to mimic like older stuff, and then like graphics and technology like flew ahead, and now like we're catching up again. Yeah, but I don't know, like I never believed it was real, and if it was, and if it ended up coming real, I was like just really hoping it wasn't, because it looked awful. Like some people are like, oh my gosh, it looks so awesome. I'm like, no, it doesn't. It looks horrible. It looks really uncomfortable, and I, for one, know, because Nintendo has said it many times, that they don't want to come up with a system. They don't even want to put like their traditional like Mario games and stuff like that on mobile phones, because they want a system that actually has physical buttons. Like, I don't think they're going to put out a system that only has a touchscreen, a couple analog sticks, and some scroll wheels. That makes no sense whatsoever. And the thing looks like a football, and you're holding, like, it's going to be so uncomfortable. It's going to be a pain. Like, it was kind of pretty if you didn't like think about what it actually was. Like, so I was never convinced, and I was really, really hoping that it definitely wasn't true. And so I was very excited when I heard that it was just a hoax.
Yeah, I was following all the patents that people were showing, like I don't know, almost like 6 months ago, and it was basically just a recreation of the patents. It was like the oval shape with like the two like control sticks on it and stuff like that. It was like almost somebody just took the patents and just transformed it into something real. So obviously I don't think it ever turns out like that way. I mean, it's always welcome to be changed. I mean, that was probably initial concept, but I doubt it's going to be anything close to the final product. But I don't know, I just didn't really see it as real off the bat. I was like, this is kind of early for that. So, and if it was real, that person probably would have lost their job.
Yeah, I share sentiments with Steve. You know, I didn't believe it was real. I didn't want to believe it was real. If it was real, I would be very, very unhappy. Besides looking uncomfortable as all get out, you know, first off, I'm a physical player. I need buttons. I can't do iPhone games. Like, when I first got my iPhone for the first time, I was like, oh, this is a great Mario clone. You should get it. So I'm like, oh, sure, why not? A little fun thing. Turn my phone sideways, ready to go. And I'm like, why didn't I die? Why? I was pushing to the right, but my finger slipped off of it because I couldn't feel anything. It was all touchscreen controls. And I'm like, this is garbage. I can't do precision platforming with not feeling an actual D-pad or an analog stick or actual buttons to push to jump. It's like, why aren't you jumping? Oh, because I'm not hitting the button. I'm a little bit off of it. I need to be able to feel that. It's like typing on a keyboard where you can't feel the keys. That's the way we touch type, is the muscle memory, and we could feel the keys. That's why there's a little button or a little, bubble on the F and the J, so you can feel how to get back to the center. So without that, that's backwards technology as far as I'm concerned, especially if you want any type of complex game. If you want to make Flappy Bird XYZ, then great, yay, it'll work. But if you want third parties to port Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed and Batman games and anything else, Far Cry or whatever else you want it to do, you need buttons. You need to make it symmetrical with the other controllers, so it's not that hard. Like, if you remember the GameCube days, one of the worst decisions they did was actually not the micro CDs, was the fact that there was only a Z button on the right side and not on the left, because everyone who made a game that used R1, R2, L1, and L2 had to reconfigure the game for the GameCube because there was no other button up there. And it was such an oversight that they didn't include that. So I don't think they would do that. I really pray they won't. Please don't. I think it's a neat idea. I just don't see it implementing. And one of the biggest fallacies for the Vita talking back about that system, in my opinion. And one of the reasons I don't take it around with me is the portability factor of it is, in my opinion, hindered by the fact that you have this beautiful screen and you want to protect it, so you need a case. Once you need that case, it's bulky and it's really not in your pocket portable. It's now you have to put it in a bag. The 3DS and the DS, that clamshell, the GBASP, that protects your screen. It's great. It's like, how could you not use that design again? Because it becomes more portable that way. So if you have this huge high-tech screen with the state-of-the-art graphics and processors in it, and you throw it in your bag, and a book falls on it, and it's destroyed, yay! Like, they need something to protect it. Because kids are going to want this. Parents are going to buy it for their kids for $300, and they're going to destroy it if it doesn't have any type of protection. So I don't see it, especially with the controller supposedly also being a portable game device. I'm glad it's fake. I hope it's nothing like that, and I hope it blows my expectations out of the way. And it better have buttons. Just please, buttons.
So it's interesting that you say that, Barry. Real quick, though, I don't want to say Roth put in the chat, he's like, haha, football head, like, hey, Arnold. And then mentioned Stewie Griffin. I saw a lot of photoshops and everything of that, which was funny. But speaking of the button thing, so when the second supposed leak happened with the black controller and the multiple pictures and everything, there were a couple people, like a source from Game Informer, who's usually pretty reliable, that said that they heard from their sources that the NX controller wouldn't have buttons. Now they could not confirm that, which is why they never, I guess, really said much about it. But since this supposed leak was happening, they wanted to kind of mention what they had heard. Now, granted, we obviously know this is fake now, but that begs the question: is Game Informer's source actually have real intel? Does the actual NX controller not have buttons then as well? Is this fake? So
yeah, see, it's totally. If Nintendo would have to be like, and they're not like Apple. Like a lot of times, especially like in the Steve Jobs era, would say like he would say something so strong, and then like a couple years later they'd go against it. That happens a lot with them. Not like all the time, but it happens several times where they're known sometimes for that. Nintendo doesn't really do that. And so if they usually, like, if they make a strong statement about something, they usually stick with it. And they've said many times that one of the main reasons, there's other reasons, but one of the main reasons that they never want to bring their games to mobile phones is because of the lack of actual physical buttons. I do not see them putting out a main console without buttons. Like, it makes no sense. It goes completely against what they stand for and what they've actually like stated what they stand for, and what they're against. And so and I think it would take a lot of, like, they've ticked a lot of hardcore gamers off over the years, and this would really tick them off if they went to the point of like totally taking buttons out altogether. They were like, well, you're going total casual, and that is like, it seems like that's not what they want to do for this next system. They want to try to bring those traditional hardcore fans back in. Taking away buttons is going to do the complete opposite.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, they want to capture the market. The new president isn't an idiot, and they know their position they're in. They know the Wii U isn't a distant third. They know the 3DS the sales are slowing down, and they know they need to do something, or their sales aren't really going anywhere. If they can't compete with the PS4 and the Xbox One, then I want them to stay in the hardware business, but why bother? I mean, that would be like saying, I want to stay in the automotive business and compete with Honda and Toyota and Ford and all that, but I'm going to try to make a car without wheels that doesn't fly. Like, it's like Flintstone's car, feet power. Like, no, you're not going to sell that car. You have to compete. There are certain things that all cars have. They all have 4 wheels. I don't care what make or model. They have 4 wheels. If it's an automobile, if it's a car, it has 4 wheels. If it's a controller, it has to have buttons. It doesn't have to have analog sticks. It could have D-pads, but it has to have buttons. And one of the things I read about the controller, granted it's fake, but I still read it, was that they wanted to have programmable buttons with the NX, so that each game can have tailor-made buttons for it. And it made me think back to the older days with the Atari and the Intellivision and the ColecoVision and the Vectrix with like overlays and stuff, where you would have what looked like a cordless phone on the controller, like the 5200, and you would just put an overlay. The Jaguar even did it. I think it was the last system that did it, where it had an overlay on it. So like F1, F2, F3 served a different function in each game, and you needed that overlay to be able to see what that did. It's a neat concept. It's a neat idea, and it would be neat if they did something like that, as long as they were physical buttons. And I also read something about technology where something underneath the touchscreen that can move the touchscreen up into like a physical button, and you could push it, and then when the game's done, it would like kind of melt down. I don't know if this technology exists. Apple probably is working on it. That would be kind of neat, especially if it was still see-through and you could still see the game or whatnot. I don't know if you can see through your thumb or not, but these are things I've read. NX rumors are weird.
I can't.
I can't.
I can figure that out. That's some big technology.
I saw a video of that tech.
They're going to come with these gloves where you can see right through your hand.
Ooh.
Speaking gloves.
Nintendo invents the invisibility cloak from Harry Potter, basically. We're all wizards now. Yeah, I saw that. I saw a video that showed that tech, Barry, where it like pops up. It's kind of freaky because it looks like a normal screen, and all of a sudden it pops up into these like little buttons or something. But it seemed like it was a full prototype and not anything that was ready for market for quite a while, if at all. So who knows with that? But it's interesting you mentioned, about NX competing with, PS4, Xbox One, that sort of thing. When Wall Street Journal the other day reported an upgraded version of the PS4 in the works, like the PS4K or whatever it's going to do. But and there's rumors of an upgraded Xbox One, things like that. So it's interesting to see how NX will kind of compare with some of that, and when it's even coming, basically too, because you have all these rumors, and the most credible rumor so far is that the NX is going to be coming, at least the console, this year, and so if that's the case, they're going to start making some announcements soon and everything, and then if the NX is coming out, and then this upgraded PS4 and everything's coming out, like, how is this all gonna work?
I disagree with that rumor. I really do not think that it's coming this year. I think if anything, maybe a handheld, but I do not see Nintendo announcing. First off, we haven't had anything announced yet. It's now the end of March. We have 3 months until E3 hits in June. So unless they do something special in April or May, which is possible, we're not getting an announcement of the NX until E3 of June. If they announce it in June and then suddenly it's coming this September or this October, that's not enough time for a home console to garner hype. You need that year buildup of hype, and if there's not an announcement anytime soon, I don't see 2016. As many people want it to be. They even had a Nintendo Direct this year that was pretty much like, hey, look, Wii U, 3DS, that's all we're talking about. That's where we're focused on. I do not see it until 2017. Maybe a handheld, like I said, but they haven't talked about it now. We don't know jack. We're believing photoshopped pictures and 3D printed pictures here because we don't have anything. It can't come out this soon. It would be a big folly. You need to build that hype. That's like releasing a movie trailer and saying, hey, it's out today. It's not going to do as well as if you announce it a year in advance and slowly leak the trailers out, to build up that hype. You can't do it.
Yeah.
I am actually going... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say I think it is coming this year, but
yeah.
I don't know if, Steve, is that what you were going to say? Or
I don't really know if it is, but I was going to actually just disagree that it can't come this year because of that. Because I think 6 months is plenty of time to build hype. I think because the hype is already being built. These rumors are being shared around and all those things because of the hype has already started. And it has been going since they really initially announced it. So hype has been building up little by little, and sometimes big steps like this, the internet and well, just like the internet that represents all of humanity now, that we like. There's already a lot of hype that's already built up around this because of the initial announcement, and so I think not that I actually believe it's going to happen this year, but I don't think that short time span would be a bad thing. I think actually it could be exciting because we're already getting excited about it, and it would be really fun to say, they announce it at E3 and say, it's going to be available this holiday. I mean, Apple, we've been talking about Apple for a little bit here. They do it all the time. Like, you hear about the new iPhone, and it's available right away. Sometimes those are huge leaps. Sometimes those aren't. When the first iPad came out, we heard about it, and then it was available like the next month. So it is possible to make those turnarounds nowadays and still get the excitement behind it. And so I don't think that short time frame would be a hindrance necessarily. I'm almost thinking if they wait too long, it could be a thing that people forget about and they don't care about anymore. So they've got to find that sweet spot where it is still exciting but hasn't passed and become just an old thing anymore. And if they keep putting it off, that power thing is going to be a huge issue. I mean, if they're saying now that it, like, I think it's funny actually because like we've talked about this before, like on the podcast about the power issue. Like, it better be as strong as a Xbox One and a PS4, and now they're like, well, it might top the PS. Well, of course, yeah. I don't expect them to put something out that's not. I mean, they've done it before, but I think they've learned their lesson. But if it just now, if they're saying rumors now that it's gonna top, barely get over the PS4, well, if in 2017, it's probably going to be behind again. Because if they do release the PS4K or whatever, then so they've got to find that right time slot. So I'm okay if it does release this year. I think it wouldn't be bad.
I have a rebuttal for you. Now, see with Apple, like you mentioned, one thing they do when they announce their new iPhone or their new iPad and it comes out relatively shortly thereafter. If Apple says, hey, the new iPhone is coming, you know what you're getting. You're getting an updated version of this. They're not going to radically change it. It's an iPhone, it's an iPhone. You look at the 3G, the 3GS, the 4, the 4S, the 5, the 5C, the 5S. They're all virtually the same. If you can control one, you can control the next one. They're all just upgrades. It's like new Mario Maker update. We don't need a 6-month advancement to it. You know how to work the game, you know how to work the update. This is something completely different from what we've gathered, but here's the difference with the hype. You're talking about the hype build-up and how everyone's talking about it. We're talking about it, but we're talking about unknown. So what you're hyped up about, like, oh, I can't wait for the NX, may not be the same thing I'm hyped up for, the same thing Hassan's hyped for, or Greg, or anybody else, because right now all it exists is our imagination. We have no idea what this is. So for us, it could be the greatest thing in the world. And we're imagining, oh my God, it's going to have this and this and this and this, and there's nothing to dispute that. All we have are rumors. So when you have hype like that, your imagination goes through the roof. And when your imagination is that high and your hype is that high, there's only one place to go. Down. Which means no matter what they announce, when they show it, when they reveal it, there's going to be tons of people who are going to be ready to go, but there's also going to be tons of people who are going to be disappointed. Because we built that hype so much in our heads. What can this do? Is it a console? Is it a console stronger than the PS4 that's also a handheld that's freaking great? And then I could take it like all the way over to another country and still play my game. And it makes me popcorn and chips when I'm playing. And it does this and that and this. And there's no end to it because it can do anything at this point. When they reveal it, that's when it becomes a legitimate item. That's when the levity will come in, and it needs time to settle, especially with such hype. It needs time to settle. Okay, well, it doesn't do this, but it does this. And then it gives you time to get excited for these features that it really does, and you forget about the features that you wanted it to do that it won't do anymore. Then it can build genuine hype. It's just like, going back to the movie analogies. If I said, hey, Avengers, like right now, Avengers Infinity War is coming out. We know it. How people are hyped for it. Why? Because we see trailers for Civil War, and we had 2 Avengers movies and all these other Marvel movies, and we know the track record, so we're like, oh, we're psyched for it. But in our heads, it could have any character in the world in it. We have no idea what's coming until those trailers hit. We start to get like a basis to form our hype around, that we could say, all right, now we know what's happening. Now we have a little bit of ground zero. Hey, I thought the Defenders were going to be in there, but now they're not. So now that hype level goes down a little bit. But I can understand. But hey, look, Spider-Man's back. All right, cool. You know, so you need that, and Nintendo needs time to build that. And at this point, it's too dangerous. It's a bubble that can only burst. Because I guarantee you, even if you're thinking with a level head, even if you're thinking the most rational thing they can do, like, if it's going to be cookie cutter, it's going to be the safest thing they could do because it wants to compete. There's no guarantee it's going to be like that. And I can assure you that there's hundreds, if not thousands upon other people that are thinking the most opposite thing that you are. And they're hyped for a completely different system that probably will never exist. So that's why it's dangerous.
And I think that's going to happen no matter what. It's going to happen if they give him 6 months. It's going to happen if they give it 2 years. You know, and so people are always going to have that, because if you announce something before you actually show it, you're always going to have that issue. So I don't think that is really what's going to change it. I think, you know, the fact is that they announced it, you know, a while back, and they haven't really shown us anything. And so that's where I think, you know, I understand the reasons why they did that, because they needed to make, you know, sure investors and everything were still okay with them after they made the whole, you know, mobile thing announcement and everything. But going back to your movie announcement or movie analogy, I actually don't appreciate. I don't like when we have so many years build up to movies, because I feel like isn't that movie out yet? Like, I've been hearing about it for like 3 years now. Like, I thought I saw it already. I've seen so many trailers, and we have an announcement about trailers, and we have trailers and trailers and trailers. I'm like, yeah, I feel like I've seen the whole movie already. And so I actually appreciate that shorter time period. I love when I hear about something and they're like, oh, that's really exciting, and I can get it in like a couple months. Cool. And so I don't know. 6 months is a long time in my mind. Like, if they announce it at E3 and then they release it at holiday, that's a good amount of time for the internet and everybody, especially in this fast age where people are like going crazy all the time. One little flashy thing, you know, everybody's ADD. I think 6 months is plenty of time to build up enough hype over what it actually is, to understand it. If they show us enough, show us why we want it, and market it well, I think it's enough time.
There's one other factor as well.
I was going to say, I completely agree with what Steve's been saying, because they've had like whatever the year and 7 months or whatever to cover the Wii U, and I feel like when they initially announced it, we didn't hear like anything for like, I don't know, at least like 9 months like after like it's an announcement. And so it was like, well, it's like you can't really build anything if there's not any new details regarding it, like not even games that are going to be coming or anything like at all. It just felt like it was like, okay, here's our console, and then it's coming sometime in the year, and people were like, oh, it'll probably be there in January. Oh, it'll be there in April. Oh, we'll be right there before E3. Oh, and then E3 is like, oh, it's coming in the holiday. Like, why is it taking so long? I mean, I feel like if you go way too far in advance, that it kind of kills some of the hype, because you let the competitors, you show your hand.
Well, yeah. Greg,
I think that sweet spot is what they did with the 3DS. I think it was a great time. It was a little less than a year. I think is plenty of time. You go much more than a year, and it's like, wow, and that's not out yet. I've kind of got excited, and now I'm kind of just coasting along now.
I'm glad you said that, Steve, because I have something to say to both Greg and you. For Greg, first off, the Wii U, if you remember, it was announced at E3, and they did not get the message across. It was a horrible announcement. It was so bad that we didn't hear anything for the following, or the remainder of the year, and then the beginning of the next year, in 2012, they had to do a special direct before E3 just to talk about the system and pretty much say, it's not just an add-on, here's the system. They failed that message, they botched it, and they ruined it. That was all Nintendo. If Nintendo delivered the same kind of message that Sony and Microsoft did with their respected systems, especially Sony, they knocked it out of the park, and the sales are proving that, then it would be a whole different story. They failed that. It wasn't anything about longevity. It was their message was just not well received, not well delivered, and they paid the price for it. As for Steve and the 3DS, and I was going to say before, the other aspect, unlike a movie, if a movie is coming out and it comes out, a movie only cares about ticket sales. That's it. They want to see the numbers. The movie only has to worry about, or the production company only has to worry about getting it into theaters. With a game system, even if they show it and announce it now, and they say, oh, it's coming in 6 months, there's other factors to consider. The first is retailers. Retailers need to be ready, need to have shipments, need to have stock, need to have a space set up for it, and if it's too soon and they don't have the plan on the floor plans ready and they can't have it there to show off, it's going to hurt sales. Second, and most importantly, game developers. If those dev kits aren't out yet, if only a few select people have them, the games aren't going to be there, and that's where your 3DS analogy comes into play. Because when the 3DS came out, and it did come out pretty quick, it came out just less than a year after it announced. And what was the 3DS's biggest problem? Some people may say price, which was a problem, but the main thing was software. It didn't launch with a good lineup. It didn't really pick up steam until Mario 3D Land and Mario Kart 7 launched later that year. Why didn't it have those great games? Because it came out too quickly. Even when it was shown off with Kid Icarus Uprising, it was shown off with Ocarina of Time 3D, and it was shown off with Metal Gear Solid 3. None of those three titles made launch. Ocarina of Time 3D made it that year. I think Metal Gear Solid 3 might have been that year, if not the year after, and Kid Icarus Uprising was definitely the year after. So even the titles that it showcased right at the start didn't even make launch. Didn't even make launch year. So you need time. And if the developers don't have time, I don't care if the system's ready, boxed up, and shipped to retailers. If they launch it without the software, it's Sega Saturn all over again. That's period,
yes.
And that will kill them.
And granted, I will say I am believing the rumors that the developers have the system already. They have their dev kits already because people have been saying that a lot. And so, yes, all of this is couched in the fact that I am believing those rumors, that the dev kits are in those the hands of the people that they really need the dev kits in the hands of. And that's where some of these possible rumors are coming about, from the power stuff and everything, about how, they can port games over from other systems really easily and things like that. If that is all true, then that is why I think this year is okay. If that's not true, then I think it's a bad idea as well. And I think it's a horrible idea, and it's going to have to be wait till 2017. But yes, if that's all of my thoughts are couched in that thought.
Look at the Wii U launch. The Wii U launch, in my opinion, had a very strong launch lineup. If you look at the games on paper, it had it had a Mario, it had Nintendo Land, it had a Call of Duty, it had a Batman Arkham City, it had Madden for the sports fans, Assassin's Creed 3, Darksiders 2. It just had a great launch lineup on paper. But then if you take the games that had released on previous systems at least 6 months earlier, and suddenly your launch lineup is down to just a few games. And porting games is very important. Porting games is going to keep them in the long run. And porting games or having ports at a system launch is fine. Absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But they need other stuff. And if let's play devil's advocate. Let's say they've had the development kits since October of 2015. Let's say they've been October. And let's say the system launches in October of 2016. So they've had a year. A year is not really enough time to develop any type of AAA exclusive, launch lineup title that you want in today's day and age. Great for an Apple Store or for an iPhone game, but if you want a AAA developer,
Call of Duty,
that's another port. And you know what? Call of Duty is actually, you see, that's incorrect. Call of Duty is actually made by 3 different companies right now. Each company gets 3 years to make a Call of Duty game. It's Treyarch, Infinity Ward, and another one. I forget. They added it. Originally, it was just 2. And 2 years was too short. They added a 3rd company in so they can keep a game every year, but each game gets 3 years. So your Call of Duty example
is basically the same one as the last one. So
that was not a good example.
I do also
I'm saying
want to
that that's the games that sell, though. Those are the AAA things. Like it maybe not an example of us who really appreciate the really strong game, but they can pop it out. Like even like
can't. It's a 3-year cycle. 3-year development time.
But they could pop it out faster if they wanted to because they can. Like it really is basically the same game over and over again.
When they do that, you get Call of Duty on the Vita. Which, look at the reviews. It single-handedly killed the Vita for a lot of people. It was like the big shining hope, and it just bombed because it was horrible. It was like the worst game possibly released. Seriously, look up the reviews. It's horrible. And I'm not a Call of Duty fan, but it's horrible. It's got like 20 minutes of single-player and a really shoddy multiplayer, and like that's the whole game. Like, it's horrible.
Yeah, I know we could definitely go on and on about this forever. I just want to make one point, and then we'll probably start to kind of wrap things up as well. We were talking, kind of earlier in this discussion about Apple and everything, and how, you're talking about the iPhone. Everybody knows what to expect and that sort of thing, right? Well, let's use another Apple example here that had a lot of hype building up for quite a while. It was announced, and then 6 to 7 months later, the Apple Watch released, right? So we've had hype building for the NX. A lot of people have all these expectations, just like they did of the Apple Watch. Don't know how it's going to be. It's announced 6 to 7 months later. It's released, and and in the smartwatch market, it's one of the leading devices in the smartwatch market, basically. It can be done, whether Nintendo can pull it off or not, we'll see. But
that's the question, really. It can be done, but it can be done by Nintendo.
Nintendo historically, at least lately, has not had the best best luck with that. But maybe they've learned. I guess we'll see with all that. But if it does come this year, and I'm also going off of the one rumor that so far has had the most things come true, which is the one guy that talked about, first of all, Disney Art Academy. He talked about the Pokemon Sun and Moon with the code name, whatever it was for Rainbow or whatever, like that thing. Those things were all so far true, and everything that guy said so far has been true. So I'm going off of that rumor that's saying that the NX would come, this year or something. So if that is the case, then that means we probably should be hearing about it very soon, I would think. And Nintendo has wanted to kind of finish up this fiscal year, kind of as is, and then we have new fiscal year starting next month, so the perfect time could be coming up to start really hearing about the NX. I think they even have a fiscal, like an investor briefing or something at the end of April, although I don't think they're going to announce, any detail, like big details of the NX at an investor briefing, but, maybe right before that or after it, we may possibly hear things. I'm not sure. So, Any final thoughts on NX then before we kind of wrap up for today?
Nope.
I think we should make a wager. That's what I think.
All right, let's end this. Let's end this with a wager. So,
I'm just going to Steve here. If you guys want to jump in, you guys can jump in. Steve, I say the home console is definitely not coming out this year. There's a possibility again for the handheld. I doubt it, but a possibility for the handheld. If the home console launches in 2016, I will play a game of your choice as my end of the bet. But if it does not launch in this year, you need to play and beat Xenoblade Chronicles.
Glad you're not giving me a time frame. I'm glad there's no time frame attached.
I mean, come on, realistically. I don't want to be 85 and hear you finally beat it. I mean, come on. Within 2017.
I'll wait till the Nx5 Virtual Console and get it. So here's the deal, though. Like, even though I really talked a lot about the possibility of it there, I actually don't. I don't know if I could honestly say it's definitely coming out this year. I just think it's not unrealistic. But I do know Nintendo, and I know that sometimes they drop the ball, and sometimes they don't do things as well as they should do, and so yeah, it might very well be 2017, and they might not launch anything at all this year. They might just talk like they might say, oh, here's what it's going to look like, and that's it at E3, and just like totally leave us in the dark. Basically, as much as we have been so far, like that is totally within the realm of possibility as well. So I don't know if I'd be able to take that wager because we're dealing with Nintendo here. But
all bets are off with Nintendo.
In general, I think a 6-month time frame for a launch is okay. However, this is Nintendo.
Well, I will say this: if in the next 2 months, in April or May, or June before E3, sometime before E3, we get a special direct just talking about the NX. That's it, the whole direct. Then I truly believe there is a chance something is coming this year. If we do not get that before E3, I do not think so. Because if they did what they did with the Wii U, where they had that special direct, and then E3 was just Wii U games, then I can see them doing a special presentation for the NX, and E3 nothing but NX games. Then I can see it coming this year. But if they don't do that, there's just not enough time in a 45-minute direct to announce a system, show off all the features, and then show off a killer lineup of games for the year. As well as still talking about Wii U and 3DS, because you can't piss those people off as well. There's just not enough time to do it.
Yeah, I'm really, I mean, I know we're going long here, but I'm really interested to see what Nintendo does at E3 this year, because it could really, it's on that point where it could be make or break in a big way for them. As much so as I'm really, really, really trying hard to be there, and I think they need to be there as well, in a very physical way, not some internet video stream thing. I think they really need to bring it.
For the NX launch, absolutely,
it could be huge.
Yeah, they need a show floor, and they need to show the NX to a crowd. They can't just do, here it is, directly to you. No, they can't. They have to show it to a crowd, because there's so many companies like Time, New York Post, New York Times that are going to be there reporting it, and they're not going to look at a Nintendo Direct because they never have. They're going to be there, and they're going to write articles about it. Like, I remember it was New York Times, I think. I have an article still. What's going to be better, the Xbox or the GameCube? And it compared Halo to Luigi's Mansion because they saw them at E3. And that's what they need. They need to reach that larger market because they can't depend on grandma and they can't depend on the 5-year-old kids anymore. They need everybody.
Right. Yeah, so definitely I think the next couple months are going to be big to kind of see what Nintendo really plans for the year. I'll make my prediction to say, either in April or May we'll get some kind of direct or something like that, and the console will release this year for the NX. I'll make that prediction, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I could very well be wrong easily with Nintendo. You just never know. As we've definitely learned on this podcast throughout the years, you just never know with Nintendo. Yeah.
We'll call this now quickly. Tomorrow they are going to announce an NX Direct because we have this podcast.
Right, yeah, because of this podcast. There you go. Watch them, because April is like the start of a new fiscal year. Watch them like April 1st, hey, NX Direct. It's like, you guys pulling a fast one on us?
Oh,
what's happening?
Shit, April Fool's Day is coming up this week. Think about this. This is going to be bad.
Everybody be prepared for April 1st. I just... there's going to be a lot of NX-related things going around. Just be prepared, guys. April 1st. Keep an eye out for that.
Didn't Nintendo have a Direct last year on April 1st, and it actually wasn't an April Fool's joke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I think they did.
Yeah, I remember that. I was like, why would they... Well, whatever. And then I remembered, hey, it's Nintendo.
Right. Yeah, again, you never know with Nintendo. I feel like that's like a running theme now with Nintendo. They need like a tagline. Nintendo, you just never know. Pretty much it. Yeah, we'll be back again soon to discuss, whatever does or does not happen with Nintendo. But thank you all for listening today. For those that joined in the chat room and called in as well, we appreciate it, and hope you guys enjoyed the discussion of the Direct and Miitomo coming out Thursday, and all the NX stuff as well.
And if you are in the Boston area on April. That's the month we're heading into. April 22nd and 23rd, 24th. I'm going to be at PAX East once again. At least that Friday, I'm going to try to go down. I've got something else going on during the day on Saturday this year, but I'm going to try to make it down in the evening on Saturday as well. But I'll definitely be there on Friday. So I know Roth usually goes. There's some other people that listen in the Boston area. Some people drive from a long way away. So look me up.
Roger said in the chat, PAX East. So I assume that means he'll be there.
If you were a listener to this podcast and you see Steve, make sure to tell him to play Xenoblade Chronicles. You do, you get a thumbs up from me next podcast.
And Bravely Default.
And if you're cosplaying as the Xenoblade Chronicles character, even better.
I tried to get him to play Bravely Default 2 years ago when it came out, and I reviewed it, and he still hasn't. So there's no chance now.
Roth, by the way, says he'll only be there Friday this year, but yeah.
Have a homework assignment, Roth.
There you go. Roth's gonna hunt you down there on Friday and convince you.
Backslash.
But anyways, yeah, thank you all again for listening, and stay tuned to NintendoFuse.com for all the latest Nintendo news and reviews, and we'll see you all next time. See you guys later.
See you later.
Good one.
See ya.